Well, well, well. Hello, my little eyelashes. I pulled 6 cards for a career reading, and the first one made me go, oh, something's shifting in your work life, and these cards are not being subtle about it. Let's see what they're trying to tell you. You know, when you're cleaning out your desk drawer and you find that business card from 5 years ago, the one from that mentor who believed in you before you believed in yourself? That's the Six of Cups energy I'm getting here. There's this beautiful nostalgia wrapped around your career right now, but it's not just sentimentality. I'm seeing children playing in a garden, and there's something about returning to what made you feel genuinely excited about work in the first place. For some of you, this is about reconnecting with skills or passions you put on the shelf because they didn't seem practical enough. The Six of Cups is saying those weren't detours, they were foundations. I keep getting the number 16 very strongly. If that's significant to you, pay attention to this entire reading. Could be a date, could be years in your field, could be your age when you first knew what you wanted to do. There's also something about yellow flowers, daffodils specifically, new beginnings that have old roots. Here's what's interesting though. This card often shows up when you're at a completion point that feels like going backwards, but is actually moving you forward. Someone watching this has been feeling like they're starting over, like they've lost momentum. But the Six of Cups is showing me that you're not starting over. You're coming home to yourself in a way that's going to revolutionize everything you thought you knew about your professional path. This isn't about dwelling in the past. This is about harvesting the wisdom you've already earned. Well, the cards are not being subtle today. Seven of Swords. And after that beautiful homecoming energy we just saw, here comes the trickster. But before you panic, let me tell you what I'm really seeing here, because this isn't what it looks like on the surface. There's a figure sneaking away with 5 swords, leaving 2 behind. Everyone always focuses on the theft, but I'm drawn to what they're not taking. Those 2 swords left us standing, that's your foundation. That's what stays when everything else needs to go. I'm getting a really strong message for anyone who's been feeling guilty about leaving something behind: a job, a project, maybe even an entire career path. The Seven of Swords is saying you're not betraying anyone by choosing yourself. You're being strategic. Here's what's connecting to that Six of Cups energy. Remember those skills you thought weren't practical? The ones you shelved? You're about to need them. But first, you have to extract yourself from what's been keeping you small. And that might look like betrayal to people who benefited from your smallness. I keep seeing the image of someone packing their desk at night, quietly, not making a scene. There's something about doing this transition on your own terms, in your own timing. The number 3 is coming through strongly now. 3 months, third attempt. 3 people who will understand what you're doing even when others don't. Someone out there has been carrying other people's expectations like a backpack full of rocks. The Seven of Swords is your permission slip to set it down when no one's looking. This isn't about burning bridges, it's about crossing them alone. What you're taking with you isn't stolen, it's earned. Those 5 swords represent skills, connections, insights that belong to you now. The guilt you're feeling? That's just the old version of yourself trying to keep you safe in a cage that no longer fits. The Seven of Swords rarely shows up for people who aren't already planning their escape. The question isn't whether you should go. The question is what you're taking with you and what you're brave enough to leave behind. There's a seed being planted in the middle of chaos, and that's exactly what the Ace of Pentacles is showing me right now. Look at this beautiful golden coin hovering over an open palm. It's like the universe is saying, here, catch these, right as you're in the middle of your strategic exit we just talked about. The timing is almost laughably perfect, except the cards don't do coincidences. This is your new beginning materializing, but it's coming through in a way you probably didn't expect. I'm seeing something very specific here. There's a golden thread connecting back to that 16 energy from the Six of Cups. 16 years of experience, or maybe you were 16 when you first had this dream. The Ace of Pentacles is saying that innocent vision you had, it's about to have its moment, but dressed up in grown-up clothes. Okay, I keep getting the image of someone receiving an offer. Could be a job, could be a contract, could be an opportunity that makes you go, wait, really? There's something about timing here that feels almost suspicious in how perfectly it aligns with your need to leave what's behind you. But this isn't the universe playing tricks. This is what happens when you stop betraying yourself. The number 3 that came through with the Seven of Swords, it's showing up again, but now it feels like 3 opportunities, or maybe the third time someone has reached out to you about something. Pay attention to what comes in threes right now. Here's what's fascinating. The Ace of Pentacles is traditionally about new financial opportunities, but I'm seeing something deeper. This is about your value finally being recognized in the way you've always known it should be. Remember those daffodils from the first card? New beginnings with older roots. This opportunity isn't coming from nowhere. It's the direct result of seeds you planted when you thought that nobody was watching. Someone watching this is about to close a massive chapter. Like the kind of closing that feels both terrifying and inevitable. But the Ace of Pentacles is your guarantee that there's solid ground on the other side. This isn't just about ending something, it's about starting something that actually matches who you've become. I'm getting the word foundation very strongly. Not just any foundation, your foundation. The one you build yourself with your own hands, using everything you learned while you were busy thinking you were failing. The coin in this card isn't falling, it's being offered. Someone out there is about to realize that what they thought was their backup plan is actually their main event. This is the happiest ending that's not actually an ending. 10 of Cups, and after watching you strategically extract yourself from what was keeping you small, after seeing that golden opportunity materialize in your palm, now we get this gorgeous rainbow arcing over a family celebrating together. But here's what's hitting me about this card in your career reading. This isn't just about personal fulfillment. This is about work that feeds your soul and pays your bills and makes you proud to tell people what you do. I'm seeing something very specific here. There's a couple with their arms raised in celebration, and their children are dancing below this perfect rainbow. The message I'm getting is that your career transformation isn't just about you. It's about everyone who depends on you. Everyone who's been watching you slowly dim your light to fit into spaces that were too small. They're about to see you shine properly for the first time in years. Remember that guilt from the Seven of Swords? The feeling like you were betraying people by choosing yourself? The Ten of Cups is showing me that the opposite happened. By finally honoring what you're meant to do, you're giving everyone around you permission to do the same. There's a ripple effect here that's bigger than you realize. I keep getting the image of someone calling their family to share news. Good news, the kind that makes people cry happy tears. But there's also something about a celebration that's been a long time coming. Like embarrassingly long. Some of you have been downplaying your achievements for so long that when you finally announce this next chapter, people are going to say, it's about time. That number 3 that's been following us through this reading, it's here again, but now it feels like 3 generations, past, present, and future. Your career move is healing something that goes back further than just you. There's ancestral pride here. I'm seeing grandparents who worked jobs they hated so their grandchildren could work jobs they love. The rainbow in this card is connecting directly back to that golden thread we saw with the Ace of Pentacles. All those skills that you thought weren't practical enough, all those dreams that you shelved, all those moments when you chose security over authenticity, they're all coming together now in something that's both stable and magical. The Ten of Cups doesn't usually show up in career readings, but when it does, it's because you found work that doesn't feel like work. Here's what's really beautiful about where we are in this spread. That 16 energy from the Six of Cups, that foundation you're building, that strategic exit you're planning, it's all leading to this. To work that honors every part of who you are. To success that doesn't require you to abandon your values. To a career that makes the people who love you proud and makes strangers ask how you found something that fulfills you so completely. Someone watching this is about to understand what having it all actually means. It's not about perfection, it's about alignment. And after years of settling for less than you deserve, that alignment is about to feel revolutionary. The rainbow doesn't appear without the rain. And honey, you've had plenty of rain. I'm looking at the High Priestess and something just shifted in the entire energy of this reading. She is sitting between two pillars, one black, one white, and there's this sense of finally understanding something that's been hidden from you. But here's what's hitting me strongest about this card landing here, after everything we've seen. You've been operating on intuition this whole time without even realizing it. That a strategic exit, that golden opportunity, that celebration waiting for you, your inner knowing has been orchestrating all of it. The High Priestess is showing me someone who's been doubting their instincts about their career for way too long. You've been asking everyone else what they think you should do. Mentors, family, that voice in your head that sounds suspiciously like your first boss. But behind that veil she's holding, behind those pillars of what everyone else thinks is practical versus possible, you already know. You've always known. I keep seeing water flowing behind her throne, and it's connecting directly to that rainbow we just saw in the Ten of Cups. There's a current underneath all of this career transformation that's much deeper than just changing jobs or starting something new. This is about trusting the part of yourself that sees things before they happen, that knows which opportunities are real and which ones are just shiny distractions. Here's what's fascinating. Remember that number 3 that's been following us through this entire reading. The High Priestess is the third card in the Major Arcana, but she's also showing me 3 specific moments of knowing. 3 times you've had that gut feeling about your career and talked yourself out of it. The first time you were too young, the second time you were too scared, but this third time? The High Priestess is saying you're finally ready to listen. I'm getting something very specific here for someone watching. There's a decision you've been putting off because you can't logic your way into it. The High Priestess is laughing, not at you but with you, because she's like, honey, this was never a head decision. Your intuition has been trying to get your attention through that restless feeling, through those dreams that feel too big, through that voice that whispers, there has to be more than this, when you're sitting in meetings that drain your soul. The moon at her feet is connecting back to that 16 energy we started with. Cycles completing, returning to wisdom you had before the world convinced you to doubt yourself. But there's also something about nighttime revelations. I keep seeing someone awake at 3 a.m., not because they're anxious, but because clarity comes in the quiet hours. Pay attention to what downloads you get when everyone else is asleep. She's holding a scroll that's partially hidden, And I'm getting the message that the full picture of your career transformation isn't meant to be visible yet. That planning you've been doing, that exit strategy, that new opportunity, you're only seeing part of it. The High Priestess is saying trust the process even when you can't see the whole staircase. Here's what's connecting everything together. That foundation from the Ace of Pentacles, that celebration in the Ten of Cups, even that strategic departure we saw earlier, none of it would be possible without this. Without you finally honoring the part of yourself that knows things without being able to explain how. Your intuition isn't just guiding your career decisions anymore. It is your career advantage. The thing that makes you irreplaceable. The thing that makes opportunities seek you out instead of the other way around. Someone out there has been apologizing for being too intuitive in professional settings. The High Priestess just rolled her eyes so hard I felt it from here. That's not a flow to manage. That's your superpower finally ready for its debut. 3 figures working together on a cathedral. And after everything we've just witnessed in this reading, this feels like the final piece of a puzzle I didn't even know we were solving. The Three of Pentacles is showing me collaboration at the highest level. Not just teamwork, but the kind of partnership where everyone brings their absolute best and creates something none of them could have built alone. And here's what's hitting me about this card landing as our final message. All that intuitive knowing from the High Priestess, all that strategic planning from the Seven of Swords, that golden opportunity from the Ace of Pentacles. It's not meant to be a solo journey. I'm seeing something very specific here. There's a master craftsman, an architect, and a monk all working on this sacred building, and each of them represents a different aspect of what you're about to create. The craftsman is your practical skills, all that experience you've been carrying, that 16 energy we started with. The architect is your vision, that part of you that's always seen the bigger picture even when others called it impractical. And the monk? That's your spiritual approach to work. The part of you that knows your career is meant to be more than just paying bills. Here's what's fascinating. Remember that number 3 that's been weaving through this entire reading? 3 months, 3 attempts, 3 moments of knowing, 3 generations? The Three of Pentacles is saying it was all leading to this. 3 key people who are about to become essential to your next chapter. Not just colleagues or contacts, but true collaborators who see what you're building and want to help you build it properly. I keep getting the image of someone who's been trying to do everything themselves. Maybe because you didn't trust others to understand your vision. Maybe because that strategic exit we talked about made you feel like you had to prove you could make it alone. But this cathedral energy is showing me that your biggest career milestone isn't going to come from solo effort. It's going to come from finally letting the right people into your process. There's something about recognition up here that feels different from what we've seen so far. The Ten of Cups showed us celebration, but this feels more like respect. Professional respect from people whose opinions actually matter to you. I'm seeing someone presenting work to a panel, or maybe having their expertise acknowledged in a way that feels both overdue and perfectly timed. The letter M is pulsing strongly right now. Could be a name, could be milestone, or mastery, or mentor. But there's definitely an M person who's about to play a significant role in this collaboration. Pay attention to who crosses your path in the next few weeks. Here's what's connecting everything together in this final card. That foundation you've been building isn't just for you anymore. The High Priestess showed us your intuitive wisdom, but the Three of Pentacles is revealing how that wisdom becomes legacy. You're not just changing your own career trajectory. You're becoming the kind of professional who lifts others as they rise. That ripple effect from the Ten of Cups. It's happening through mentorship, through collaboration, through showing up as the expert you've always been but were too humble to claim. I'm getting something very clear for someone watching this. You've been underestimating your influence. That quiet exit strategy, that careful planning, that refusal to settle for less. People have been watching. And now they want to work with you because of how you handle your business, not despite your high standards. The cathedral these three figures are building isn't just shelter, it's sacred space. Your career transformation isn't just about finding better work. It's about creating work that serves something larger than yourself. That 16 energy we started with, that return to what made you excited about your field in the first place, it's about to become the cornerstone of something that outlasts you. This reading started with nostalgia and ends with legacy. The Three of Pentacles is showing me that your next career chapter isn't just about a personal fulfillment. It's about becoming the kind of professional who changes how things are done in your field. Not through force or politics, but through excellence that's so evident it inspires others to raise their own standards. Someone out there is about to close the biggest chapter of their professional life. But what you're opening isn't just another job, it's your masterpiece. And you're finally ready to build it with people who deserve to be part of something this significant. The cathedral isn't finished yet, but the foundation is solid, the blueprint is sacred, and the team is assembled. Time to build something beautiful. So there, we have it, eyelashes. From that beautiful homecoming energy all the way through to building your cathedral with the right people. This reading has been about recognizing that everything you've been quietly preparing for is finally ready to unfold. That foundation you've been laying, those strategic moves you've been making, that inner knowing you've been learning to trust, it's all been leading to this moment where your career stops being something you do and becomes something you are. The cards are showing me someone who's about to step into their mastery. Not through force, but through finally allowing themselves to be seen for who they have always been. That ripple effect we talked about? It's already starting. Let me know in the comments if that number 16 hit for you, or if those daffodils have been showing up in your world. And definitely tell me if you've got an M person in your orbit right now. The cards were very insistent about that one. Thank you for letting me witness this beautiful transformation with you. This reading felt like watching someone remember their own power, and honestly, that's the best kind of magic there is. Look after yourselves, little eyelashes. Your cathedral awaits.